Okay, welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus. We're here for the unemployment Thursday job report. Trade balance is also on the schedule. My name is Leigh Goldstein, Trading Director at 10 Minute Trades. Please remember that all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. It's possible to lose money trading futures, so trade carefully. Okay, good morning everyone. Going to use our webcam, see if we can get some video for social media. I use OBS, and for the life of me, it's a really complicated program to use. I really don't enjoy using it. I can't figure out how to get rid of the windowed, that label where my mouse is. I'm still working on learning this program. So, anyway, I like the new Snagit. The new Snagit has a great webcam portion of the program. Anyway, so here's the news that's going on today. We've got Canada trade balance, which is probably just barely worth watching. I don't even think it's tradable. And we've got the Thursday jobless claims, which is very, very inconsistent. And we talk about this all the time. I wasn't even going to have the trade room today. That's how inconsistent it's been. And it was a little bit of a quiet week, so I decided to have the room. So, the important news is the jobless claims numbers, trade balance. It has some value, trade balance. Um, and then Canada has their trade balance also. I'm not sure I even want to use the Canadian chart. But here's what I was thinking this morning. There's not very many Thursday jobless claims videos that I could even show everybody to give us an idea how to trade this, because the problem is, like I said, there's no consistency. So you remember, CPI is very often on Thursday with jobless claims, or PPI, or retail sales. So we often don't get Thursday jobless claims by itself. So when I look for a report like this one, okay, this was, let me see what the date of this. This might just be an old report that I was pulling up. Yeah, this was exactly a year ago, Thursday jobless claims, and we were trading it totally differently. A year ago, we were trading a range trade. Now, I don't even know if I have it. I'm just looking to see what I have recorded. And we also had an ES breakout as a secondary alternative. So we were trading the ES breakout, it looks like. And we haven't traded the ES on this report in a very long time. So this was a full year ago, okay? Almost exactly a year ago. I just want to take a look at it just for fun. So we had the ES, and then we were also watching Canada's jobs report. So the ES has a nice little whipsaw, not a very good move. Canada on their jobs report, that can be a tradable report. It's not great, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So that was a year ago. March 21st, we had jobless claims, but it was with Philly Fed. So now Philly Fed is not a huge report, okay? It's got the setup that we're using today, NQ or gold, okay? Bracket of 25, stop of 35. I mean, this is not even close to a family money trade. I would not risk my family's money on Thursday jobless claims. I would not trade it as a breakout. But let's look, and we don't. We're not trading it live. We usually have the trade room, but we're often not trading it live. We had gold on the right, we had the NQ on the left, and sometimes there will be good moves, but it is truly a coin toss, okay? And it's not a good coin toss. It's an inconsistent coin toss. You could see gold didn't work on the right, and the NQ did not work very well on the left, okay? There's not a lot of motivation to trade this as a typical breakout. If we go to February 8th, let's see what was going on that week. And the reason we've tried so hard to make this report work is because it's weekly. I'd love to have a weekly report that's a great report, and it always works. Here's December. This is a video inside a video. But it's unfortunately we'd have to wait 50 seconds. I'm not going to wait 50 seconds for that. That video inside the video is not that great. So this is February 8th. Okay. Same setup as we have today. NQ and gold. Don't forget gold opens at 820, as does the bond market. So we had the jobless claims, and you had a pretty fast downward move on those jobless numbers. And it looks like one of the reports worked. Let's just watch the NQ first. Okay, here's the NQ on the left. Now, that most probably maybe would have been a target one, not two target winner. That would not have gotten both targets. Too fast, too much slippage. Very unlikely you would have hit both targets. Either way, very quick reversal. Gold, you would not have had time. You probably wouldn't have been able to get out of that with a profit. Maybe if you had your target one stop move, you can just see it was a whipsaw. It was a whipsaw, but it went far enough possibly to hit a target. Okay. So, but still, that's not the kind of initial reaction that looks like a great opportunity for profit. That's what we're looking here. We're looking for opportunity for profit, good moves that are tradable. Then we had February 1st. So far, I haven't seen a move that makes me want to risk $200, $300 on the report. That's what you have to decide. Is it good enough to risk $200 or $300 to make 150? They're not big targets. Now, that was a better move on the NQ, okay, on February 1st and on gold. So that was a good move. It was a very negative jobless report, but I want to make something very clear. There's a second report in there that the market does look at. It's called non-farm productivity, and it's a quarterly report, and that's the elephant in the room. Okay? That report contaminates the jobless report. That jobless report was not trading by itself. It makes the analysis trickier. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Nevertheless, that was a tradable, good looking move. So that's one. Let's look at another one. Let's take a look at February 22nd. That was a busy week. Busy week. We got up in the middle of the night for the German and French reports. If you got up in the middle of the night last night, the Swiss CPI report had a very nice move. I'm going to get up for some of those. Some of those Swiss reports are looking extremely tradable. And I know at 3 in the morning, not a lot of people are going to get up and do them, so I'm not going to worry about liquidity. Because the 6S is a pretty low volume instrument. Okay, watch here. This was a good move on the NQ, but no but. Good move on the NQ, February 22nd. Okay. Let's look at that gold move. I don't think the gold move was safe. Watching gold also. Not a safe move on gold. Okay. Yeah, I think you get the picture. There's occasional good moves. I got one more I'll show you, maybe two. January, a report in January, mid-January, the 17th. I don't have to tell you that, let's make sure this has Philly Fed. Philly Fed absolutely contaminates the jobless report. Philly Fed we used to trade by itself. Unsafe move in gold and an unsafe move. Let's see if the NQ, maybe the NQ could have worked. I think you get the picture though. This is not, first of all, there's no consistency in the testing. Sometimes with Philly Fed, it has a good move, sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't. That looks like a good NQ move on that. So look, you're looking at a coin toss here. There's some that work, some that don't. Here's a December, just since I pulled it out. So if you want to trade the breakout, I think it's probably not worth it. There's a chance you could have a winning trade. It's not one of the reports that I would put in my journal as one of the reports I'd recommend if you want to build up your account. I'm not even loving it enough to trade it in my prop account. That was a really, really fast NQ move. So it would all depend on where you got your fill on that NQ trade. Okay, that was very fast. If there was good volume that morning, that could have been a winner. Okay, that was December on the NQ. On gold, here's gold on the right. Big, big unsafe whipsaw on gold. So, a couple of things I was thinking about. Okay, I barely want to watch the Canadian dollar for their trade balance. I barely want to watch it. NQ, I'm putting on MNQ 0624. Okay, MNQ 0624. I want to explain something that you should think about if you're trading an eval account. You know, a Top Step, a Buell Knox, any of the Apex. Gold, I'm putting on MGC 0624 micros. Okay. If you're trading in an eval account, and many people are trading them, um, I believe in my heart that many people are just using those accounts for entertainment. There's definitely people using them seriously, but Just as many people are getting entertainment. They're not really trading them seriously. It's fun and it's cheap and it's really a great way to entertain yourself. But forgetting all that, forgetting my ridiculous thoughts about what I feel in my heart about these prop funding companies. I mean, we're going to keep doing it and do it more and more because it's what people want. You have to do what people want. And I love the idea of trying to see if we can really make it work. I think if you got to do it seriously. I am seeing people getting paid, absolutely. So here's the thing, though. You're not getting a $50,000 account. When you sign up for your eval account and the drawdown is 2,000, keep in mind forever that you're trading a $2,000 account. It's not a $50,000 account. You can't lose 2,000 or you lose the account. Or maybe it's 2,500, depending on which company you're using. So that's why for a lot of the trading, you could be better off at most trade just one contract on full size, okay? Or trade micros for a while, especially in the beginning in your prop accounts, because that's why it's so easy to blow those accounts up because your drawdown is so small. And don't forget, there's also a daily drawdown. Some of them, if you lose 650 or 850 in a day, you can't trade anymore that day. Okay. So you want to look at those accounts with a dose of reality. It's not a $50,000 account. It's not a $100,000 account. It's a $2,000 account. So, anyway, what I was thinking, maybe, maybe there will be an opportunity to trade this after the news. So all I'm going to do is just set up a couple of change in direction trades and see if there's an opportunity with micros. So it's not super risk. I don't want to risk hundreds of dollars on these reports to trade them when, I've never used these reports this way. I'm not embarrassed to say, hey, I sometimes have to practice stuff. I'm just a regular person, just like you all. So there's levels of interest on the report. You got the PP on gold. You got S1 pretty far away, though. I don't think they're going to be a factor on this report today. I don't think the VWAP's going to play into effect. And I'm just going to watch Canada. I have no interest in trading Canada. But so I've got micro MNQ on my JOBB account, my cash account, and I've got my Top Step account on micro gold. And for a heads up, I use a 30-second chart when I'm looking at the squeeze for a scalp. Sometimes you can get a nice heads up on the squeeze indicator for a scalp direction. So now gold is difficult already because it's making new lows right now. So, you got to be a little bit extra careful. You're at a level that's a level of interest to begin with, and it's already there. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. I'll talk through anything that I do. I'm choosing the reversal setup. I'm going to use two contracts on my gold trade. I'll do 8 ticks and 15 ticks with a stop of 20 ticks. Okay. That's all I'm going to do. It's all going to be discretionary. I'm going to use, because when you use the reversal continuation setup, or for you all, you're on the previous software, it's reversal continuation. I'm going to label one of them GC, okay? And that one's going to be on my Top Step. And if I think there's an opportunity that I want to risk, and I really treat micros the same way that I treat full size, but the psychology of trading micros, it's much easier. We all know that. It's much easier. So I definitely will be more willing to pull the trigger and more willing to trust my analysis. It's just the nature of trading micros. So targets, just small targets, because these are not huge moving reports. We could do something like 8 and 25. So if we get a move, we can trail it. I think that makes more sense. So we'll do 8 and 25 with a stop of 20, one position for each. And it's a reversal or a continuation. When we check it, we get our buttons, okay? And I'm going to do the same thing with MNQ. I don't really care about the breakout this morning because I would not be trading this as a breakout. It's inconsistent. Yes, it could work today. You saw pre the pre-game setup, okay? It's a total coin toss. So I'd rather see, let's see if we could use our heads. I'll do the same thing with MNQ. We'll do a target of 10. We'll do a target of 30. Okay. We'll do a stop of 25. All right. And I'm just going to look, is there an opportunity after the news for any kind of a trending move? Or now look, let me be totally honest. Most of us, including myself, would be much better off do this with just one chart. If you do it with just one chart, you can really use your brain, okay? I'm going to concentrate on the NQ on this morning. Try to do it with one chart. Now, why do you want to do it with one chart? You could do a candle explosion reversal if you do one chart. If you do two charts, you'll never get that trade filled quickly enough. You'll never be able to press the button fast enough if you're watching multiple charts. Now, when I say a candle explosion, when we looked at that December trade, I believe we had what I would call a candle explosion. What do I mean by a candle explosion trade? Okay, watch the candle on the left side here. Forget that one. That was hopeless. Let's see if the gold, that was a double whipsaw where you would never have an entry that would work. You wouldn't be able to do it. I'm looking for one burst and then a change. And the idea of a candle explosion is on the burst, you go the opposite direction. ASAP, without looking at the news, long. Okay? You'd go long somewhere as it's making that burst down. And you do that without looking at news, without doing anything. You're just reversing a candle. That's all you're doing. We know many reports do that. Okay. Now, look, how can you get burned on that kind of a trade if it keeps going in the same direction? If you don't get your reversal. This Thursday report, though, we see they reverse a lot. They reverse a lot. That's what I mean by a candle explosion reversal trade. You can't watch multiple charts and have any chance of getting that trade on because you'll never get the button pressed fast enough, right? Now, we could use on the NQ, we could use our manual breakout, right? We could use our manual breakout today, put it on. This is a new software feature, and the software is really close, folks. I know I have a message waiting for me in my inbox. I'm testing the final, just trying to get the magnet trade perfect. So let's say we're just doing a 10 tick target. You have to give yourself double the stop on this trade. And I want to go in at 18,480. 18,480. I want to go in at 18,480. That's my level of interest. Okay. One position, I'm going to do a bigger target. One position, and what did I say I want to go in? I want to go in at 18,480. Yep, I want to go in at 18,480. So my level above is 18,480. Okay? That's all I have to type in. That's all I have to type in. Now, I don't want to do this live. I can't trust this report enough. So we'll do this in Sim. It's a good test of the feature. And let me explain how this feature works. Very simple. So when I enable this, I get my area of interest. If the market bursts to R1 and the high of the day, there's a really good chance it's going to reverse. Okay? There is no time on the reversal trade on gold Z because it's buttons, right? Why would you have a time if you're going to enter manually? The manual reversal trade, you're putting a time in because this is an automatic trade. But the gold trade reversal, it's not automatic. I'm using the button. When you enable that reversal trade, your buttons will be there. Okay? Do you get the difference? Let's check our sync. It's the most common confusion that people have with some of the setups. If you have buttons for entry, you don't need time. Okay? Now I'll get the programmer to remove the time probably on the next update. Do you understand ZL? You got it, right? On the reversal, when you enable it, you get your buttons. You enter the trade when you're ready, not at a specific time. Okay. The manual reversal trade, we decide the level that we want to reverse. I love having the power rather than it being, okay, well, do the high of the day. I want to do it a little bit before the high of the day. Because if it gets to that area, that's where I want to reverse it. Okay? You could do it at the VWAP also. You could do it at both. If you get a whipsaw, it could create a little bit of trade chaos, right? Now, it was closer to the VWAP than it was before. You could do 18,441 on the bottom if you wanted to. You could do 18,441. If you think that, we don't know which direction it's going to go. So we could also put in 18,441 on the bottom. And see, we get the line. Actually, I'd probably like it at 42 if I have enough time to do this. I think I do. Now, we have a feature in the magnet trade that we have to bring to this. Let me just make a note, folks. All right, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. If it bursts up, it might short us. If it bursts down, it might buy us. Do we have a gold event? And I am watching the news. Not a big response to the news. Not a big response. It hit neither of our levels. Let's just let it test anyway. I'm going to let it test. If it goes up, it'll short us near the high. Okay? Near the high. Now, the NQ is very bullish. Do you want to take a short? Not so sure, right? Not so sure. So you could cancel that if you're live. Gold, it did go up a bit. Okay, it went up. Did not get close enough to the PP to short it. It was not close enough for a test of the PP. Now, the gold opened at 820. We weren't watching at the time. There's the gold open. Now, I would consider, if you were really trading this, the market, the news is kind of negative. Look at Canada, not much of a reaction there. The news is somewhat negative. There's more jobless claims. That's what the Fed wants. So maybe you let this fill, right? Maybe you would let this fill because if you look at the news analysis, we should continue back to the upside. Our levels were just a little bit far away for our setup to take effect. So no harm, no foul if you don't get filled. But then you have to make a decision. Do you want to keep your orders on after the news because maybe the news will validate your analysis longer term? Okay. Okay, wait a second, Larry, and you'll tell me what you did. Larry, you've been doing a lot of reversals lately. You did a manual reversal on gold. So I'm going to cancel this, folks, because really there was nothing happening. Nothing happened. So we're going to cancel our NQ. Our micro gold, let's go to the gold chart, GC0624. So Larry, you know what I'm going to do? Let's run a replay real quick. Look how easy it is to replay this trade. Go to Tools, Historical Data, download your data, okay? Market replay data, put today's date on, 4/4. We're going to download gold, GC624, click download, and let's download the NQ, okay? I don't think Canada's even worth doing. And then disconnect your live connections, okay? Disconnect my JOBB, disconnect my top step, connect playback, okay? Continue. We're going to get the control panel. I'm going to put my chart on NQ. Now, I wasn't paying attention. I don't want MNQ. I want to download NQ and full GC. So I was not paying proper attention. So I'm going to go back to historical data. Okay? To download data, you cannot be connected to the playback server. So I'm disconnecting the playback server. Remember that. To download data, you cannot be connected to the playback server. It won't download. I don't know why. That's the rule. Get the replay data, 4/4. I want the full size instruments. Okay, good. I did them. I did download them. I just wanted to make sure I didn't download the minis, the micros. Okay. So we've got our data, reconnect our playback, continue. Put the date in the boxes on the playback. Okay. So the date, today's date is 4/4. All right. So both boxes have to have 4/4. Okay. Both boxes. In the blank space, right click, go to right before the trade. 8:29. Give yourself 10 seconds. So the software can calculate and put the brackets on, whatever you're doing software wise. 8:29.50. Okay it. Okay, make sure you're on the right chart. We've got the NQ chart. We've got the gold chart on the right. So the first thing I'm interested in, let's look at gold. GC0624. What did full size gold do on this report? Okay. Where did Larry have an opportunity to make that money on the reversal? Let's see if we can tell without him telling us. So now you got to put in your software, right? If you're going to test a breakout, you got to put in your breakout trade. So go to the DMM. We have the setup on the DMM. There's no mysteries with this today. No mysteries. We've got our setup. So what I'm going to do is right click the chart, put our strategy in just like it's a live trade. Our breakout, it's 8:29.59. Playback is the most important thing you can learn how to do. It's the most important element for testing previous reports, strategies that you might have done, trade practice, how to move your stops. Replay is the best feature in NinjaTrader. I hope they never take it out. So, bracket of 8 on gold, 8:29.59 on our trigger, okay? And we've got targets of 9 and 19. So, profit target 1 is a 9, profit target 2 is a 19. Our stop is 20. All right. Scroll down, make sure you're on playback. Do all the things you normally do. Label it, GC, GC. Okay, you can still check your brackets if you want to. Save templates. So we're going to call this Thursday. I call it Thursday claims, but it's unemployment, unemployed, GC, today's date. Okay. That way, if something goes wrong, you don't have to retype in your setup. You have it saved. So now we've got our gold setup. You can also, so we've got our breakout. We can check our brackets, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to save time. So we've got our breakout trade ready to go. We have to put our time in, right-click the blank space, go to. Sometimes the time gets reset to 0. NinjaTrader told me the problem is OneDrive, that's why my clock gets set to 0. I don't know who to believe. 8:29.50 is our time. So let's just watch what would have happened on a gold breakout. Okay, this is the gold market right before the news. Press play. Our brackets are going to show up. There's our brackets. Now, not a bad gold move. Not a bad gold move at all this morning, okay, on full-size gold. It was definitely tradable for target 1. Definitely tradable for target 1. So I can see what Larry did, I believe. All right. So very interesting, a very nice move for gold on a target 1. Okay. So Larry's was saying NQ. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What if, let's go back to the beginning of the trade. We do the go to, right click in the blank space and go back to 829.50. Okay. But instead of doing a breakout, we're going to look for a change in direction. All right. So this is a very interesting setup. Right click the chart, click on strategies, JOBB version 11. You can put two strategies on one chart. You just don't necessarily want to run them simultaneously unless they're allowed. A continuation or a reversal, it has buttons. So we can put that on a breakout chart and you can enable it. Let's say we're going to look for one target, 15 ticks, and we're going to risk 20 ticks. All right. So we have a reversal set up. It's on playback. You got to make sure your account is on playback. That's very important or it won't work. And then label it, apply it, and okay it. And now we've got a reversal. And that's all I'm going to do. I don't want to do the breakout and the reversal trading together because they will interfere with each other. But you can have both trades ready. And if the breakout is great, you could just let the breakout play out. Sometimes what will happen is the breakout will be super fast, and then you'll have time to do the reversal because the breakout will resolve itself without you doing anything. This trade, we saw the breakout. It did not resolve itself. But let's see what we could do. An area of interest for a reversal certainly would be the PP, wouldn't it? That's a definite area of interest. Press play. Finger near the button. Finger near the button. The clock is on the control panel. Now, as we go higher, I'm interested in a short, but I want to be closer to that PP. If I get a burst right about now, come on, give me a burst up. So we just didn't get a good enough move on this report. But I want to show you, okay, there we're going. So let's say you took a reversal, okay? Let's say you took a reversal. Now, one thing I think that I made a mistake. Let's close this. I want to do it right. Let me look at my setup on the reversal. Yeah, see what I only had a target of 1. I meant to type in 10. That's why the order was so close. So let's do it again. Put our reversal on. Let's go back to 0, 829.50. And this is a slow candle explosion. All right, this I would consider a very slow candle explosion. Our buttons are ready. Here comes the trade. I'm going to take a short immediately on the candle pop. All right, I'm going to move my stop above the PP. I don't want to get out of this trade unless it breaks the PP. All right, that's a very mediocre candle explosion trade. Okay. And that's just a regular reversal. That's how you use the reversal strategy. It couldn't be easier. But what's good about it is you could use it any time of the day, in any scenario, on any news. You could do it when the Fed's talking. You could have a scalp set up if you like to scalp. But your buttons, once you enter, you're going to be safe because you'll have a stop and you'll have targets. You don't have to fumble around. That's the beauty of it. Very simple, very easy to use the reversal feature. That's the idea of it, okay? Author, I don't understand your question. Bingo. That would have been a nice little reversal. Okay. Now, the easiest thing in the world to do is to trade a report after you've watched it trade. But it's fantastic to practice, right? Let's look at the NQ. We didn't look at full size NQ on the move, right? 0624. So, do we have an opportunity on the NQ? Let's see. So your chart should be on NQ. We're going to put our time on 8:29:50. And I don't really know what happened on the NQ, honestly. I really don't. So let's make sure that we label the strategy NQ, okay? And our targets would be bigger than gold. I would use, let's say, a 12 on my first, a 25 on my second, and a stop at least of 25 ticks, okay? So that would be my breakout. If I were doing a breakout, my bracket would be 25, targets of 12 and 25 with a stop of 25, at least. You could go to the DMM. You could use the exact setups from the DMM on the breakout if you want to. So we've got a stop of 35. And we've got a bracket of 25, okay? Targets were close, 12 were exact, 12 and 25. So that's the breakout on the NQ. That's the breakout. But I'm not going to do the breakout initially. Okay, I'm going to save it, unemploy, NQ for 424. So we have it. But I'm more interested in that reversal, okay? More interested in the reversal. I want a target of 25, a stop of 25, just one position for now. All right. Looking for 25 ticks with a risk of 25 ticks on the reversal. We've got it labeled. Apply and OK. Make sure you're on playback account or it won't work. So now when you enable the REV, we get our buttons, instant long. It's a market order. Puts you in the market instantly. Puts you in the market instantly. Okay? Let me show you the settings one more time. On the reversal, choose reversal. Position size 1 is a 1. Profit target 1 is 25. Stop is 25. Label REV, account on playback. OK it. Apply it and OK it. You get the buttons when you enable the trade in the control panel. That's what puts the buttons on the screen. There's my buttons. So let's play it back now. If it resets the time, I'll just put the time back in. It doesn't. Everything looks good. I don't know what happened on this report. If it pops to the VWAP, maybe I'll go long. There's the news. Not much of a move. So I hit the short button. I would want my stop above the high. That's what I would want. It's a big stop, but that's what I would want. So that's 10 ticks, 20 ticks almost. A lot of chop. A lot of chop, but that's how you use the reversal. Arthur, I just don't know why you're getting so confused out of this. When you press the enabled button, the buttons show up on the chart. Instant long means you're going to press the button and go in the market instantly. That's all it is. I don't understand what you're getting confused about. When you enable the reversal trade, the buttons show up. When you press long, you go in the market. Long, immediately. At the market. At the market. No, just for that. The idea is you're going to do it for that trade. If the trade ends and you want to do it again, uncheck the box and recheck it so you get your buttons again. Sometimes you want to reset the strategy, but you could do it over and over if you wanted to. You could do it over and over. It's not a breakout trade. It's a reversal trade. It has nothing to do with a breakout. It's a different trade setup. When you click the strategy and you choose trade type, reversal, that's what gives you the buttons. Then you put your settings in. And then when you enable it, you get your buttons with those settings. It's every reversal trade. It's not a breakout. Get it? Okay? I think you were just missing that it's a separate trade type. It's a separate trade type. Let's take a quick look at the breakout. It didn't look like a very good move. So now if I want to test the breakout, I go back in time. Go to 8:29:50, right? 10 seconds before the event, so the software can calculate. And now the breakout is NQ. Hold on, because let me make sure that my setups are correct here. Hold on. Strategies. Let me get the right one. Okay, this was not set up properly. Make sure it's on breakout. Okay. Let me label it so there's no confusion. Whenever you make a change to a strategy, make sure you apply it so that it shows up in the control panel. See, now it shows up break as I typed, so I know the correct one to choose is that one. 8:29:50. Press play. Let's see what happened on the breakout. We know it was not a very quick initial burst. It was pretty quick. It was only a couple of seconds. The NQ looked like it had a pretty good burst this morning. Okay? The breakouts would have worked this morning. Remember, it's a coin toss. Sometimes a coin toss gives you a good move. Sometimes a coin toss gives you a good move. Okay, let me answer this question. Let me see if it makes sense. On what trades do you use break even? So explain a little more, Cal. I need a little more. What do you mean break even? The break even stop move? Using the stop move? Okay, so what Cal is asking, on what trades do you use the feature target one stop move? I use target one stop move anytime I think it's a whippy kind of trade and it might pull back to break even and give me an opportunity to save the first profit. It really depends. So there's a lot of reasons you could use it or not use it. I usually don't use it in replay because I'd rather do as much manual trading as possible in replay for the practice. I use the target one stop move, especially if I'm trading two setups at the same time. That way, I literally don't have to manage either trade. If the stop movement is automatic, I don't have to manage the trade. So sometimes I'll use it just because I'm trading multiple setups. The most important time to use it is if you think a setup reverses a lot, an event that reverses a lot, that has a trap trade and a breakout as a valid setup. That's a heads up you might want to use the break even stop move. But it's also the way that you personally like to trade. Some traders don't want to ever move the stop, and they never use that feature. They'll just let every trade play out by not moving the stop. Okay? But in particular, I use it on reports that I think if the event has a lot of chop, then it could protect a whipsaw from being a total loser. So that's how I think of it. And you can use trailing also. How do you turn on trailing? Let's say we wanted to trail on that report. Turn it on. If you turn trailing on, it starts immediately the minute the trade is filled. Tick for tick price movement, number of trailing ticks, 1. It ignores fixed ticks. Okay, that's how you turn trailing on. You can also start to trail at target 1 or at target 2. But let's say I would have had trailing on. So we can run the same breakout with trailing on. Watch what happens. It's a very nice feature. We should use trailing more often, I think. I don't know. I never was, it's just something I never was big on, but no reason not to use it. Pressing play, trailing will move the stop automatically. It's another way if you like to manage your stop. Now, what did I do? I forgot to turn the darn strategy on, so let's put the time back. I thought I enabled it. 8:29:50. We'll do it one more time. Don't forget to turn on your breakout. I pressed it, but it didn't press. I know it happened. I pressed it and I wasn't looking. There it is. Okay, now we'll press play. Here we go. Here come our brackets. Now, why did I not hear the trailing? Let's make sure I did it properly. Let me get rid of my reversal. Sometimes in playback, tell me how that wound up being off. Let's do it one more time, and then we're out of here. Strategies, breakout, bracket of 25, trailing off. I turned it on 100%. I turned it on the reversal. Tick for tick. All right. And we're number 1. We're good now. Okay it. Enable. Time back to 8:29. I'm going to put in 8:29:54. Get this thing going. Press play. Here we go. Watch it trail. All right. Spreading it apart so you could watch the stop. Okay, it's going to fill. And when you use the trailing stop, you'll actually hear it. You'll hear it. It makes a cash register sound. Okay? All right, everybody. So now you absolutely know how to use the reversal. Right-click strategies, trade type, reversal. Then any setup that you enter will be honored, and when you apply it, it will put the buttons on. Okay? When you enable it in the control panel, the buttons come on. Okay? All right. We'll be back for natural gas. Okay? I'll see everybody at 10. What is best time setting? Arthur, what do you mean? What do you mean? What is best time setting to ensure it's a go? What do you mean? You're welcome, Z. What do you mean? You're not, don't think that you're setting time in a reversal trade. You're not. Author, think about it. What's getting you into the trade? Well, how are you getting into the trade on a reversal trade? What's putting you in? The buttons. So there's no time. Time doesn't matter. It gets ignored. It gets ignored. I definitely have to remove time from the reversal trade so people don't get confused. But what do you mean? So I'm not getting your question, author. The trade type, I'm still confused. Question's not making sense to me. On the reversal trade, when you choose a reversal, time doesn't matter. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to tell the programmer to remove it. Cal, I have so many, there are so many videos. If you go to the room drive, go into the room drive, and there is a video in there called Market Playback Big Lesson. Download that video. Okay? I have about 100 of them. Okay. Arthur, does it make sense? You're ignoring time. Anytime you're dealing with an event that has buttons, although there are exceptions, most of the time when you're dealing with an event that you're trading, a trade type that has buttons, time is ignored. Time is ignored. When you enable, exactly, when you enable the reversal strategy, Arthur, when you enable the reversal strategy in the box, when you enable it, that's when the buttons appear. When you enable the strategy. All right? They won't appear unless you have a strategy where reversal is chosen and you have to be on the right account also. Okay? Then, now I'm not, I have to make sure I'm connected. Okay? Make sure your data is connected. So now if I'm in Sim, Arthur, and you want to practice a reversal trade, set up, look at the NQ after that news. What did we say? The market was going to like that news. Um, the minute I press enable to a reversal setup, the buttons are going to show up and time will be ignored. So what other trades ignore time? Um, it's really of the trades that we use, the magnet trade is not going to use time. The magnet trade does not use time in the traditional manner, but we'll go over that. Of all the things that we use regularly, Arthur, um, the range trade uses time. Okay. We have a start time and an end time. The breakout uses time. The reversal does not. Okay. Reversal does not. So I'll get that removed. I don't know how if I'll get it for this version, but okay. All right, everybody. I'll see everybody back here at 10. I'll see everybody back here at 10. Let me close my webcam. Okay. Okay. So I'll see everybody later. We'll do it again at 10 o'clock, Arthur, on natural gas for sure. We'll do it again. Okay, folks. I'll see you all in a bit.